Hello and a very warm welcome to yet another fascinating edition of the program CSE Weekly, a weekly program that keeps you abreast on the activities and achievements of the Corporate Affairs Commission. My name is Rashid Mahi. Coming up, CSE secures mandate to issue Legal Entity Identifier, LEI. FINTECT gets 60 days extension of deadline to register with CAC. Plus, CSE partners Lagos State Government to formalize and register businesses. We will be right back. Hello there, it's a brand new quota and your favorite program, CSE Weekly, is about to unveil new innovations fresh from the Nigerian Companies Registry. Have you heard of the Extensible Business Reporting Language XBRL standard for filing of electronic financial statements? Do you know that there's so much you can do on your own on the company's registration portal from the comfort of your home or office? The CRP offers, amongst others, end-to-end electronic registration solution for accredited customers and the general public to initiate and complete pre-registration and post-registration applications electronically. Online filing of annual return, online registration of limited liability partnership and limited partnership. See you there. Welcome back. We start off with a good news for fintech operators. The Corporate Affairs Commission wishes to notify fintech operators, also known as point-of-sales operators, that the initial deadline of 7th of July 2024 given for the registration of sole agents, super agents, and agents has been extended for a period of 60 days beginning from 7th July 2024 to the 5th of September 2024. This is to give sufficient time to operators, particularly those in remote areas who might have encountered network challenges, to so register and continue with their businesses. Operators who fail or refuse to register at the end of the extended deadline run the risk of losing such businesses and prosecution for aiding and abetting criminal activities. Signed, Management. That's very kind of CSE, and we do hope all the operators will leverage the extension to complete their registration. And we move straight to another milestone achievement for the Commission as it continues to be a pace setter. The Corporate Affairs Commission, CSE, will soon start issuing Legal Entity Identifier, LEI, a reference code used across markets and jurisdictions to uniquely identify a legally distinct entity that engages in a financial transaction worldwide. The LEI also improves the quality and accuracy of financial data reporting system for better risk management. The decision was reached at the just concluded Global Conference on Legal Entity Identifiers, LEI, organized by the Financial Stability Board, FSB, and the Global Legal Entity Identifier Foundation in London, United Kingdom. The Registrar General, CEO of the Corporate Affairs Commission, Hussein Ishaq Magaji, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, was among several CEOs across the globe that attended the conference, which took place at the London Stock Exchange. The conference was basically centered on ensuring that all entities in the world are given a global entity identifier, known as LEI. Additionally, the LEI code or LEI number helps identify legal entities in a globally accessible database. The conveners of the conference strongly believe that the future of the world hangs on the LEI, as no trade across borders would prosper without the LEI. A significant milestone for the CSC is its recognition as a local operating unit, LOU, with the mandate to issue a legal entity identifier upon fulfilling certain conditions. The LEI code will further boost the credibility and sanctity of CAC certificates globally. CAC Weekly reports that CEOs across global financial institutions, several company registries, the Bank of England, the Bank of India, and the European Bank, among others, attended the conference. We say congratulations to the CAC and Nigeria in general. From London, we move to Lagos. In a bid to facilitate the formalization of tons of informal businesses in Nigeria's commercial capital, the Corporate Affairs Commission and the Lagos State Government have agreed to partner. The move also aims to engender integrity in the way businesses are conducted in accordance with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's renewed hope agenda. This was revealed during a robust engagement between the Registrar General of the CAC, Hussein Ishaq Magaji, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, and the Lagos State Governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, represented by his deputy, Dr. Kadri Obafemi Hamzat. Speaking during the meeting, the Registrar General underscored the importance of formalization of all businesses in the country, particularly the micro, small, and medium enterprises, to ensure economic growth. To achieve the desired results, he said the Commission is already collaborating with relevant institutions and agencies both within the private and public sectors. The Registrar General maintained that the registration was being conducted seamlessly within the stipulated service delivery timelines. While acknowledging the strategic nature of Lagos State as Nigeria's commercial nerve center and economic hub, he stressed the need to collaborate with the Lagos State Government to realize the goal of formalization of businesses. CAC boss therefore expressed the Commission's readiness to provide bulk registration for the businesses presented by the Lagos State Government at 50% discount rates in accordance with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's renewed hope agenda. To fast-track the process, the Registrar General said API will be granted to the Lagos State Government to ensure interface with the Commission's registration portal. In his response, the Lagos State Governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, represented by the Deputy Governor, Dr. Kadri Obafemi Hamzat, applauded the gesture and suggested the establishment of a scheme where young graduates will not be financially burdened while registering their businesses. He further suggested that young business owners operating between 0 and 2 years be granted a discount on the cost of registration to serve as an incentive. CAC Weekly reports that the Registrar General was accompanied on the visit by the Director of Human Resources, Mrs. Olayemi Oyeni, Director BPRS, Mrs. Glory Essen, Head Lagos Office, Mrs. Tosin Mobiaku, Deputy Director, Head Lagos Office, amongst others. Thumbs up to the Registrar General for that breakthrough. Are you a bureau de change operator? Now listen to this strong message from the CAC. Notice of intention to cancel certificates of incorporation of bureau de change companies whose licenses were revoked by the Central Bank of Nigeria. The general public is hereby informed that following the revocation of the operational licenses of 4,173 bureau de change companies by the Central Bank of Nigeria via a Federal Republic of Nigeria Official Gazette, Volume 111, Number 37 of February 2024, for non-compliance with regulatory standards, the Corporate Affairs Commission, in exercise of its powers under Section 8, Subsection 1E of the Companies and Allied Matters Act, 2020, advises these companies to, within 3 months from the date of this publication, change names and objects. Failure to change the names and objects within the stipulated time frame shall result in cancellation of certificates of incorporation and dissolution. The details of the companies have been published on the Commission's website. The general public, shareholders, and directors of these companies are advised to check the website www.cac.gov.ng. It is to be noted that it is unlawful for a company whose certificates have been deemed dissolved to carry on business. Signed, Management, date 10th July 2024. Let's now turn to MSMEs development and the CAC's role in that direction. Good news for the people of Kogi Central Senatorial District, as Senator Natasha Apoti-Oduagan expressed her readiness to partner with the CAC to register 2,500 MSMEs for her constituents. Speaking through her media office shortly after a meeting with a CAC delegation led by Mutahu Bello, Assistant Director, Head FCT Zone 5 Office, Senator Apoti said the move was aimed at boosting economic growth and development in Kogi Central. The senator, through a statement by her Chief Press Secretary, Arok Bonno Israel, further revealed that the registration, which will be done on the spot, will be offered at a rate of 11,000 naira each. Senator Apoti-Oduagan has committed to covering the total cost of 27,500,000 for the registration of all the 2,500 MSMEs, the statement added. The registration is expected to commence soon, with a special conference planned to bring together key planners in the business ecosystem to forge synergy and collaboration. She therefore charged the CAC to strengthen its education and sensitization efforts to inform business owners about the importance of registration and the benefits of compliance. In his remarks, the head of CAC FCT Zone 5 Office, Mutahu Bello, lauded the partnership as a significant step towards promoting the ease of doing business in Nigeria in line with the Commission's mandate as enshrined in the Companies and Allied Matters Act, CAMA 2020. He highlighted some of the measures put in place to promote the ease of doing business through simplification of the registration process, reduction of registration costs, and improvement of digital infrastructure, amongst others. We say thumbs up to the senator and congratulations to our constituents. Let's now go to the northeast region of the country, where the CAC Bauchi joined the business registration sensitization train. In a bid to drive more informal businesses into the formal sector, some officials of the CAC Bauchi office, particularly the customer service section, intensified their sensitization campaign across the Pearl of Tourism. The team that visited Gwelemeji Market, among others, highlighted to the traders the benefits of registration and pledged to offer seamless service in that direction. CAC Weekly recalls that the Registrar General Hussein Ishaq Magaji, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, upon his assumption of office in October 2023, rolled out a 4-point agenda to ensure economic growth. Thumbs up to the hard-working team from CAC Bauchi. Let's now go to our interview segment and join Mr. Justin Nida Birawal, CAC's Director of Compliance, to discuss post-incorporation obligations for companies in accordance with the provisions of CAMA 2020. Sit back, relax, and enjoy watching.
Mr. Nidia Justin Barrow, Director of Compliance, many thanks for joining us on the program again.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Today we are discussing post-incorporation obligations of companies. One area that a lot of companies are guilty of, including myself. What is the thinking behind it?
Well, the thinking is that we should try as much as possible to create awareness on the duties and responsibilities of promoters, shareholders, and directors.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right. So let's go to the very beginning, the first one, the directors' meeting. Yeah. Why is it so important?
It is important because, first of all, it determines how smooth the company takes off. And it is important for those companies that are into serious business that they should take off properly and smoothly so that they don't encounter problems in the future.
Okay. For those of us or some people who will decide to have ghost directors just for the sake of, filing document, and you not tell them to have a directors meeting with who?
Well, it is difficult in life to take the position that they are ghost directors. Technically, they are what we call shadow directors, but not ghost directors.
Okay.
But by directors in this context, what we mean are directors that are disclosed on the documents that were used to register the company. Yes, those are the ones.
But you've had cases where people have shadow directors.
Well, whether shadow or those that have been disclosed, what is important is that they should hold the directors' first meeting, because that determines how smoothly and properly the company takes off.
How do you check that the company had had its directors' meeting? How do you check that companies comply with that?
Well,
how does the commission check?
It's easy to find out because there are actually returns that are expected to be made arising from the director's first meeting. So when those returns are not made, then it is clear that those companies have not held any first director's meeting.
Okay. Yeah. And it comes 6 months after incorporation?
Yes, the law requires that the first director's meeting should be held within a period of 6 months from the date of registration of the company.
Okay. So let's go to the pre-incorporation contract. What is it like?
Well, those are some of the issues. We recognize that there could be about 8 or more of things that needed to be discussed at what is called director's first meeting. And one of those things are what we consider as pre-incorporation contracts.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And then the receipt and payment.
Well, first of all, talking about directors or pre-incorporation contracts, we know under the old law, pre-incorporation contracts were considered void. But under this new legal regime, they are considered as voidable. So that's why it is important that one of the things the directors needed to do at the first directors meeting is to either ratify the pre-incorporation contract or to decide that they are not approving that contract, and therefore the promoters will be personally responsible for those type of contracts.
Help us understand, what does this contract look like?
Well, contract looks like, first of all, there could be commitments as to future undertakings, like maybe you will hire somebody that will provide services for the companies when registered, or not only services, that you will supply goods when the company is registered. So those type of things are what we call pre-incorporation contracts, which are usually negotiated by promoters. And if the directors on coming on board discover that they are not comfortable with such contracts, they can always review them or even revoke them entirely.
Okay. So we'll go to the next one, which has to do with the receipt and payment.
Well, when we talk about receipts and payment in this context, what we try to portray is that, for instance, the promoters, while trying to promote the company, could consider how the capital, what is considered as the working capital of the company, will be raised. And primarily, usually, is the subscribers that are expected to bring in the first working capital. So the directors will look at how much has come in and how much of the funds have been utilized for the purpose of promoting the company. So those are the things they look at. Basically, how much money has been received and how much money has been paid out.
Does it have anything to do with accountability?
Yes, in a sense, it has to do with accountability, because you collected money from the shareholders or from other sources, and you use part of the money probably to register the company and to pay professionals that were engaged to register the company. So you need to account for how those monies were raised and what they were used for.
For instance, if it's my personal money, do I need to do that? If I have a company and I use my own capital?
Well, except if you are talking of the novel provision that allows for one-man company, in which case you are not expected to account to yourself, then there will always be need where 2 or more people come together to form a company to account for what has been done in the past.
Okay, so let's go to the appointments of chairman, MD, secretary where necessary, including the auditor. But let's start from the chairman. How is the appointment done?
Well,
you can just sit down and appoint to one person and say, you will be our chairman.
Well, that is why engagement like this is very necessary. Many people think that you can just assume the role of a chairman of a company or that of a managing director. But the proper thing is that at the first directors meeting, the directors themselves choose their own leader. And that leader invariably is the chairman of the board.
Are there some criteria that needs to be, complied with when picking a chairman as far as the commission is concerned?
No, the criteria, the legal criteria will be the one that applies to qualification of directors. So once you are qualified to be appointed as a director, you are qualified also to be appointed as chairman.
Okay.
But what is important here to note is that it's the directors themselves that determines who the chairman should be.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So they can just like somebody's face and say, go ahead.
No, it's not expected to work out that way. The expectation is that the chairman should be a person who commands respect among his colleagues. And therefore, that informs the need for, or the fact that they bestow on him the responsibility of leadership of the entire board. So it's not because I like your face or you like my face that we'll choose you as our chairman.
Okay.
But it is expected that the chairman should also bring in value addition.
Okay. Yes. Mr. Nidia Justin Barrow, always a pleasure having you on the program, sir.
Thank you for having me.
We say thumbs up to Mr. Justin Nidia for that enlightening moment. And now, do you know that by the provisions of Section 421, subsection 1 of CAMA 2020, the annual return of a company limited by shares or guarantee or unlimited shall be completed, signed, and delivered to the Corporate Affairs Commission not later than 42 days after the annual general meeting for the year? So have you updated your records with the CSU? Well done if you have. And if you have yet to do that, please hurry now to www.csc.gov.lg to file your return to avoid being struck off. The CSC remains committed to working hard to provide prompt and efficient service to customers in line with global best practices.
Attention business owners, did you know that failing to file your annual return can put your company at risk? In Nigeria, the Company and Allied Matters Act 2020 requires all registered entities to submit their annual return to the Corporate Affairs Commission (CAC) or face serious consequences. The listing, striking off the CAC register, these are not just empty threats. They are real risks that can strip you of your business license, cutting off access to government activities, support, subventions, and crucial post-incorporation services. The law is clear. Annual returns are mandatory for the continued recognition of your business as a legal entity. Act now. Good news! Filing your annual return has never been easier. Introducing the CAC online portal, your convenient, efficient, and accessible solution to fulfill your annual return obligations. File your annual return online through the CAC portal today. CAC, committed to prompt and efficient service.
And that does it for this week's edition of the program CSC Weekly. We do hope you enjoyed watching. For comments and inquiries, please take advantage of our social media handles and helpline. On Instagram, we are Corporate Affairs Commission. Our address on Facebook is Corporate Affairs Commission. On X, formerly Twitter, is at CSC Nigeria 1. Our email is cservice@csc.gov.ng. csc.gov.ng. The website address is www.csc.gov.ng. The call center number is 070 80 62 9 000. Do join us next week for another interesting edition of the program, same time, same station. For me, Rashid Mahe, and the whole team, is bye for now.